Hey friends, all of us, whether we realize it or not, are on a journey of evolution, of expansion, of awakening, could be another way of describing it. In other words, of our consciousness expanding and growing and deepening. And this can go through some pretty dark periods, right? Where eventually we learn from our mistakes and stop being insane. That being one of the definitions, of insanity. And the point of this video today has to do with the 49th gene key. It gives us a pretext to speak about this beautiful subject, which goes from the shadow of reaction to the city of rebirth, and it's through the gift of revolution. And this is a beautiful theme that facilitates our connecting what we might refer to or think of or consider or contemplate as being spiritual truth with our social being, right? The word revolution is pretty connoted that way. And it also describes, or more fundamentally describes, a natural process that we can find in sacred geometry. Sacred geometry being basically the geometry that describes life, like the flower of life. So what we have is at the shadow level, this energy, because it's all the same energy, so whatever gene key we're looking at is speaking to the same energy, the same consciousness, and doing so in a specific way and with a specific theme that as human beings and with the diversity of our understandings and cultures and attitudes and personalities and astrologies and all that other stuff can relate to perhaps more than others. But all of the gene keys, if they exist, are inside of us. Everything is. Nothing is really outside. That's just a kind of a funny, mysterious, extraordinary, and beautiful, wondrous illusion of life. If we could really see everything, I think the natural world, such as we know it today, such as we perceive it, would disappear. Even even mainstream physicists acknowledge that we only perceive 0.0000001 of what's really there, and the rest of the stuff, they don't know what to make of it, so they call it dark matter. So, the point is that what is reaction but a basically automatic response not being the right word, a basic automatic answer or event that is triggered by something else, and that happens because there's a trigger, and so there's no space for freedom of choice, for consciousness, except at a very, very, very reduced level to function. And reaction, we call knee-jerk reaction. We have, when you go to the doctor and he checks your reaction when the reflex and that kind of thing. So reaction bears very little awareness. It's an awareness of a stimulus, and then the how to relate to that stimulus, and it's pretty automatic. And often very, very quick. And why is it the shadow level? Because, it's a closed circle, right? There's no space for shifting. It's like a pattern. And what happens is that when more consciousness emerges from within the circle, right? Within the circle, because of mysterious circumstances and contingencies that have to do with the mystery of evolution of awareness and consciousness, what happens is that pattern is interrupted. So the circle is interrupted and it turns into a spiral, and this is what is called the gift of revolution. Now, in political terms, revolution basically really only means that we're going to replace the ruling, whatever they are, with younger younger ones. And what we find is that often there's just the same old stuff that shows up again, maybe in a different form, but the things haven't really evolved. Of course, I'm not a political scientist, and I'm not saying that political revolutions are bad at all. I think they're always spurred, or often spurred, by an intent to evolve and to make a more beautiful, fair, just, good world for everyone. We just have to be careful. We have to be careful to really keep our eye on the ball, the circle, the ball, and the evolution of it, and to really keep the revolution centered on the ideals of justice, of beauty, of the amazing things that we can co-create if we're coming from a place of equality, of true equality, where all of the different functions of the system. Now we're talking about a more global system, societal system, reflect the inner necessity and truth for life to serve the whole, which is what a healthy human being does, a coherent entity, human entity does, which is what we're aiming to do, right? I kind of started this little, I don't know what to call it, a rant. It's not really a rant. It's like an ad-lib. I'm ad-libbing. It's an activation, maybe. But what happens is then that the revolution, the city of this 49th gene key, is called Rebirth. And that's a really beautiful phenomenon, event, spirit to contemplate, to hold in the heart. What we hold in the heart, we contemplate. And of course, we can meditate this, just kind of receive the wisdom of the universe through our sense of dissolving in it, which is what happens when we meditate, and we are in meditation, as R.J. Spina would say. And then we can hold this in our bellies and concentrate this energy of rebirth, which is, birth is located, in our lower bellies. It has this incredible capacity for creation. And what is rebirth but recreation, which has to do with evolving along this dynamic, which is first closed and then it opens. It becomes a spiral that revolves, that's able to churn in a coherent way what was, and to take from it what is good, and to project that into the future, so that then what is expressed can be considered a rebirth, because it has transmuted the past, what we call the past, into something that is flowering in the present for the benefit, of all the beings, and as the Native Americans used to say, 7 generations down. Think of all of those rebirths. So, whilst these themes have this social collective quality, and all themes do really, they really start inside of us. Each one. To breathe and to observe our reactions, What am I reacting now? Why is this happening? And one of the things you can do, there's a beautiful book by R.J. Spina called Change Your Mind. I highly recommend it. And the process is very simple. It's really just about observing everything and then questioning. So we come to recognize our reactions and to inquire within and to extract basically the truth. We don't even need to do anything. Truth naturally emerges. And then this is going to provoke a revolution of our being, where a form of inner reinitialization happens, which is in alignment with what is truly at the center of the circle of the spiral, and of the being that is being reborn. And then we are reborn at every single moment, moment being, immeasurably micro moment in the now, which, has that, basically is an emanation of the singularity. It's always now. It's always, always, always now. And that is such a place of power. So I leave you with this. Thank you for your attention and your patience to really ground all the way down to the belly, into the now, here, which is here. We're now and we're here. And to allow that concentration to feed the essence, to awaken it, and so that we can integrate and incarnate and embody this spirit, which is beyond revolution. It's about rebirth. And this is how we create a beautiful world together, friends. Whatever may seem to be happening, careful with all the mainstream stuff. There's a lot of distortion and reaction there. So whatever may seem to be happening, your presence and your rebirth, it's not born again, it's born anew, is critically precious for the evolution and the betterment and the beauty and the justice and the truth of creation of this world that we are sharing. See you soon.